A romantic surprise getaway begins on the isolated roads leading into Shergar. As Akash drives, the car's electronics begin to fail, the GPS flickers with static, and a distorted children's lullaby starts playing unprompted through the speakers. A sudden figure in the road causes a violent crash, and when Sonia regains consciousness, she finds herself hundreds of yards away in the dense woods, separated from the vehicle. Dazed and injured, the couple eventually finds refuge at a nearby resort. The resort sits on the edge of the same town where Sonia's brother, Vicky, vanished 10 years ago. To survive the trauma of that loss, Sonia's mind had buried those memories so deeply that she arrived here unaware of her own history with the location. In places like Shergar, this kind of unresolved grief creates a specific vulnerability. By suppressing the memory of her brother, Sonia unknowingly provided a focal point for the local anomalies, which appear to be drawn toward individuals carrying heavy, unaddressed trauma. Tense, the activity quickly shifts from environmental glitches to a targeted pursuit. Inside a resort washroom, Sonia faces a direct confrontation with a hostile entity that leaves her physically shaken and desperate to flee the town. A local psychic intervenes, explaining that Vicky didn't simply die, he was intercepted. This diagram shows the living world and the afterlife as top and bottom planes, but notice the chaotic, static-filled purgatory layer trapped between them. Vicky's soul is tethered to this middle plane, caught in terminal suspension, unable to cross over or return. Dealing with a haunting of this scale requires more than just reacting to the ghost. Investigators have to map the emotional history of the victims to understand exactly why the entity has chosen them as its anchor. The investigation identifies Maya, the spirit of a young girl who was with Vicky on the night he disappeared. She was the one who originally led him to a decaying, abandoned house on the outskirts of the woods. Maya survived the night, but she was paralyzed by the fear that she would be blamed for Vicky's disappearance. She took that secret to her grave following a car accident, and that unresolved guilt kept her spirit bound to the woods of Shergar. Maya's spectral guidance leads the investigation towards the source of the trauma, Anamika. Anamika was a local tutor known for her severe, controlling methods. After her mental health declined, she lost custody of her only son, Ajay. Isolated and broken by the loss, she eventually took her own life. Consumed by that final, concentrated rage of losing her child, Anamika's spirit manifested with immense strength. The scale of the injustice she felt in her final moments provided the energy needed to warp the reality of the house she died in. Within the boundaries of that house, Anamika enforces a singular, terrifying rule. She targets children almost exclusively, trapping them within the walls to ensure she is never alone again. Anamika functions as a central well of energy, drawing in smaller nodes, children's souls, and locking them into an unbreakable orbital cycle. Traditional banishment fails against this obsessive grip. To bypass it, her son, Ajay, re-enters the system, forcing the entity to confront its past. Stopping a haunting of this complexity is a matter of reverse engineering the entity's psychological pain. You have to resolve the trauma that created the ghost to dismantle the manifestation it leaves behind. Sonia, Akash, and Ajay cross the threshold of the Shergar house for the final confrontation. They are moving into a space where Anamika's influence is at its absolute peak. Ajay confronts the entity directly. He uses a childhood photograph to anchor her spirit to her memories as a mother, offering the forgiveness she was denied while she was alive. While Ajay handles the emotional bypass, Sonia takes on the physical task. She must locate the skeletal remains of the trapped children hidden within the structure, finally uncovering her brother Vicky. Burning the remains is the final step in severing the earthly tether. As the fire consumes the physical anchors, the energy sustaining the curse is finally dissipated. This dual approach, addressing the entity's psychological need while simultaneously destroying its physical tethers, is what allows the ritual to succeed where simple force would fail. As the remains burn and Ajay offers his forgiveness, the house's oppressive atmosphere shatters. Anamika's spirit is finally released from the cycle of hoarding and rage. With the source of the gravity gone, the static-filled purgatory layer dissolves. We can see the trapped nodes, including Vicky, moving smoothly out of the middle plane and into the afterlife. For Sonia and Akash, the closure is as much internal as it is spiritual. By facing the dark secrets of their families, they have finally ended a decade of silent, unaddressed suffering. A haunting is trauma made manifest. The curse of Shergar was finally broken because those who survived it were brave enough to turn back and look at the pain. They had spent 10 years trying to forget.